Hello again everyone. Today I'm gonna show you how to do the hazard stripes on your Iron Warriors or any other painting projects that you have. So I will be showing this in two different steps. The first one will be a tabletop quality, which is sort of this one. The second one will be a more detailed one, like this one, where you have the scratches on. But it's again up to you where you want to stop things. I think the tabletop version looks really well from a distance, but if you want it to look amazing, and it's just a little step that will take some attention from you, it's really easy to do. So for this we definitely need this yellow Averland Sunset from Games Workshop. I think this has fantastic coverage, and I like the saturation of the yellow as well. It's not too bright, it's slightly orangey or ochre color, so that's a really good one. We need a black. I could only find this one from my local supplier. If you can find a darker black, definitely go with that one. For the second step, we will need a dark brown. I'm using rhino hide. Doesn't matter though, it needs to be somewhere close to this dark brown. And you're gonna need something like the old bleached bone, so bone color. So I have this, for some reason, Game Air. I think one of my friends gave me this one, and I've been using it for a while now. It's really liquid though, so I would go with the normal bleached bone color. So a lot of people do use masking tape for this, but I'm finding that masking tape is really difficult with small shoulder pads or leg pieces here. And most often the masking tape won't cover everything, and then you'll have a little bit of paint dripping from the underneath and ruining everything, so you have to redo it over again. So I'm saying, screw that, don't bother with it, do it by eye, and then you can fix it anyway. So what I've done is I painted some of the plates black, as you can see. I'm not going to do all of them. I will definitely do this shoulder here, and then this leg here, and then we'll see how it goes. Maybe the gun casing needs to be black with stripes as well, but we shall see. So what I'll do is I'll pick up a 3-0 brush. This is a Winsor Newton one, which I wholly recommend. This one is about 10 years old and it's still going strong. So you pay a bit at the start, but if you look after them, they'll look after you. So we're gonna get a bit of yellow out. There we go. And then just a bit more water to make it a bit liquid. That's a bit too much. So a bit more there. There we go. And what I'm going to do is, by eye, I'm going to hold the miniature quite firmly, and then I'm going to touch it with my other hand so they shake together. I will draw diagonal lines as straight as I can, and make sure that your hand is comfortable when you're doing this. So my hand likes to go horizontal to the right. So no matter where in the miniature I'm doing the stripes in, I will rotate the miniature so my hand always does this motion. It seems to just like this, and normally they shake a lot, especially when I'm talking, but in this instance they do hold. There we go. So I'm not trying to get a perfect yellow here, because that's rather impossible. Don't worry about, you know, it looking patchy and stuff. We'll get there. It's more about getting the same thickness all the way around as you go through the shoulder pad. So I have a yellow line about this thick, which means I need to leave the same thickness of black there, and then start again somewhere here. And if you cock this up, you can always go in with black. So as you can see there, I made a mistake and it just bled in. I'm okay with that. I'll fix it later on. So I'm not panicking, and I'm just continuing with my yellow work. Where it's difficult, we'll rotate the miniature again and continue this way. But as you can see, I'm trying to keep it horizontal. And if you feel like your yellow is too liquid, like I feel it now, just go back and fill some of the earlier stages. just adding a bit here to make it a bit more straighter. But you can see it's starting to work, so we're happy. Happy. The worst thing you can do while painting is to panic and think you made a mistake and you can't go back, because that's your ego speaking and trying to make you give up. So we're not going to listen to the ego, we're just going to push on. Because if you throw enough attention and hours or minutes at a problem, you'll always overcome it. Cool. So I'm happy with those two. Here we go, the third one. So I'm learning how to do these. I mean, not how to, but where to put these chevrons as well with my Iron Warriors, because I think John Blanche, when he designed these paint schemes, he was very smart, because he knew that the Iron Warriors, with their metal and gold trims, were a tad boring when you look at it. So without these chevrons, your eye kind of just glazes over the whole miniature and doesn't know where to look at. So for example, the Warsmith that I'm painting right now, it's quite large, there's a lot of pieces and a lot of things going on. So it's nice to have these yellow and black chevrons here and there, not too many as well, to break things a bit, so your eye rests on them and then goes back to the metallics. And it's the same with my other miniatures as well, so I'm trying to put them not too many here and there. For example, the flag here doesn't work for me, so I'm going to change that soon. So yeah, it's an interesting process, and the guy was really smart when he designed all these. If you Google John Blanche Chaos Marines artwork, there's a largish poster-like thing where he sort of put his design ideas and conversion ideas for all the legions. So you got the Word Bearers, the Iron Warriors, the Black Legion, and you know, there's little notes of him saying like put cocktail sticks in the back to make spikes and stuff, or use Skaven and Beastman bodies on Iron Warriors to make fur, which I am quite liking it, because he knew there was a problem with the sheen, and he knew something was needed, something extra was needed to make it more interesting. So we're continuing on the other side of the pauldron here. Well, I might do that later on, because this is going to take some time and might be boring for you guys. So let's say that we stop somewhere in there, yeah? But imagine everything is done. Next up, I would fix the small mistakes that I've done with the black. So in this case, it's actually not too bad, but what I seem to like a lot lately is to go over the edges and just make it a bit more sharper. So where it's touching the edge of the rim with the black, I'm just gonna go straight down, horizontal, and make sure your paint is really liquid for this, so add some water. It's almost like washing with an ink, but very carefully. So you could probably do this with a Nuln Oil as well. It's up to you. So I'm adding some definition to the edges. It'll look sharper in pictures and in a distance. There we go. So that's sort of what we want. And where I know I sort of botched, I'm just gonna add some black there to make it a little thinner. So I'm happy with that. Cool. Right. So next up, we're gonna add, if you give me 1 second. this one. So this is an optional thing. I forgot to add this. So you got Cassandra yellow shade. This will just give the yellow a bit of a texture, and it'll make it slightly orangey, like it's been used and it's got darker. Again, this is not very necessary, but you could go over the yellows, especially around the edges, just to add a bit of interest to them. Because it's a wash, it'll try to pull up in the edges, which is something that we like. There we go. And if you go over the golds, it's fine, it'll add some interest there as well. So as you can see, it is adding some sort of shade or shadow or definition around the edges. So we're gonna let that dry up. So this would be the tabletop quality bit. So this is where I would stop if I had a whole army and I didn't want to go any more details. That is fine. So I'm gonna put that aside for now, and I'll show you the rest of the job on the Warsmith. So what we want to do in the next step is to add some scratches, which we'll do with brown, and the highlights with the bleached bone or bone color. Again, for this you will need a 3-0 brush or something very thin, like this one. And we'll get the brown out. So this is just about getting some scratches there and then highlighting them with the bone color. So what I'll do is I'll add some horizontal thin stripes, very randomly, and some vertical ones as well. It's up to you where you stop. I think that's enough. Wash your brush. And again, the only problem with this is it takes a bit of a time, and you need to be slightly careful with how many you put and how thick they are. If you go too thick, it doesn't work, so be careful. Because this paint is really, really thin. It's made for airbrushes. I'm just gonna brush some of the way. And now with the bone color, you have to just line the underneath of each brown that you've done, as if the sun is, or the light source is catching them, catching the scratches, and just making them shine. And that's it. I'll add a picture later on of this so you can see it. Maybe it's not very visible in the video. But that's the whole chevrons thing for Iron Warriors or any other Marines that you might want to do. I hope that was helpful. Again, please do like and subscribe, because that will be very useful for me later on. And if you have any questions or any tutorial requests, don't hesitate to ask. Thank you very much. Bye bye.